Welcome home, Raiders. This week, PvP season is coming to an end, but why do we care? Big changes to raiding are coming before Warlords, and WoW subs are up, and a lot more. This is Convert to Raid number 130.
You're listening to Convert to Raid, the podcast for raiders in the World of Warcraft.
Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Today is February 9th, 2014, and it is now 11:09 in the AM Central Standard Time. Thank you so much for joining us from all around World of Warcraft land, and hello, my name is Pat Crane, your host of the show. I'm also called Zug around Airy Peak, US, and I'm still raiding. It was a little tough last week to do that, but I'm still doing it. And the players are here as well. Let's go to now snowy Seattle. Snowy and serene Seattle. It's Aries!
Let's just go with snowy. Maybe serene, I wouldn't say that. It's more like just chaos.
It's all chaos.
Yeah.
Awesome. How you doing, buddy?
It's a mess. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm used to snow.
Right on. Right on.
Everyone else here, not so much.
Yeah. I think that we have one other person that is not used to snow around here.
Yeah, let's not introduce him, though, because I heard his fortune cookie is real bad.
Yeah, so get ready, people, because we're going to go to Hollywood, California to the Funky Monk, Coltrane. Hello, sir.
Fortune cookie say.
Oh,
Rogues and noobs have something in common. They both pick locks. Huh? Yes! Booyah to the locks!
Booyah.
Because they're locks.
Right.
And the locks are the sworn enemy to the mage. Mages, I'm trying to win you back. I'm trying to win back the mage.
Good luck with that one, buddy.
I'm trying to win them back. After I was baited.
After you were totally baited in saying that mages were a 2-button class.
I did not say that. Sort of. I was baited into it.
Right. You totally were.
Hi, fellas. 40 bongos and no bongo for you. But that was sent in by Moengus, a Windwalker monk from Area 52. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for participating. It was horrible.
Yeah, I was seeing a lot of no bongos.
Yeah.
7 billion bongos. Come on.
Oh.
Negative 10 bongos.
Guys, I've had some time off. I'm growing a beard. I've got a beard now. It's crazy.
Yeah, and if you're not checking out the live show right now, or you're not watching the video, then you should turn it over to the video.
Right. Because
then you can see Coltrane's beard in all its glory. Actually, it's more of a scruffy face.
It is. It's a little scruffy face right now.
It's a scruffy face.
But for our audience, the audio, they can't see the beard, so I don't know. I'm Coltrane's beard. I'm getting stronger. Thank you, Coltrane's beard. We just heard from Colt's beard.
There you go.
But yeah, no, I'm trying to, it's the new year, kind of changing things up a little bit. And I don't know, man. Maybe I grow it, maybe I don't. Maybe I don't know. You gotta give it a shot, right? I've never grown before. So this has been a week.
Right.
So we'll see.
That's not bad. All right, so let's talk about what we've been up to in game a little bit. Now, Darius, what have you been up to?
It has been a long week in game. After the Super Bowl on Sunday, which was an utter disappointment, in that it was boring. We won, but I actually got back into WoW. So I spent the week playing my Paladin of all classes.
Wow.
Playing Prot and Holy. Been queuing for LFRs as both a tank and healer, and whichever one pops first I've been doing, and LFR has not gotten any better.
Oh yeah?
It is still, I mean, even all the way back to Mogashan, where if even fresh 90s overgear that place now, it's just people yelling at each other. It's people just ignoring mechanics or finding the quickest way to die so they don't have to do anything. It's just, and then as you progress further, it just gets worse, and the anger gets worse.
Right.
It's just, it's been messy.
It's well, and it's kind of weird because I know that there are issues with it, and we kind of talked a little bit last week about the issues of LFR and how it's not a consistent experience for a lot of people. And some people have really great times in there. I mean, some people have really awesome times, and that's great, and that's a good thing. But it's not consistent for everybody. That's for sure.
I cleared all of the LFRs all the way up to Siege of Orgrimmar 2. So from the beginning all the way through. And in 1 week, I managed to get all 10 Sigils of Power and Sigils of Wisdom.
Wow.
So I finished that part of it in the first week that I did it.
That's crazy.
So, I mean, there was I think we wiped 3 or 4 times total across all that. So that's not awful. But, we wiped twice on Darumu because the person that would get, say the red beam on Darumu was AFK. So they just stood there the whole fight and didn't move. Or we had one person that wasn't AFK, but their idea of moving was to run up and down the platform, just back and forth. They weren't moving left to right. So it was things like that that made things very difficult.
Yeah.
The AFKs are definitely the worst.
The maze, though, I mean, that's still... die to that still. That thing first spawns.
All but 5 people, but luckily everyone was kind of prepared for it, so we bloodlusted, and the boss had like 30 million health by the time that came, so
that's great.
The last 5 people were able to finish it off, but it was not the most enjoyable. And then I tanked a bunch of them because tank queues popped quicker for whatever reason, and it was a lot of like other tanks yelling at me, or Ret Pallies or Fury Warriors just taunting whatever they wanted. We had a bunch of times where one of the tanks would just run in, pull a boss, and then immediately leave. That happened 2 or 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
well, this sounds a little rough. I gotta tell you, that's got some hair on it.
Yeah, maybe I had bad luck, but there was not one wing that I didn't queue for that there were issues. But like I said, I went all the way through, got a lot of gear. I went from I think 470-ish eye level to 501. Finished out all the sigils, did all that.
Right.
So that's what I've been doing in game. Didn't raid last Sunday because of the that Super Bowl thing.
Right. Yep.
Wow. Well, it's an interesting thing about LFR, and that's this jazz, is that if you're doing it with friends, right, then it's typically a good and positive experience. And if you're doing it with a group of people. But I wonder, when you queue up with complete strangers and all that stuff, people get mad when they wipe. When people wipe, everyone starts yelling and everyone's blaming everybody else but themselves, and it's just a big giant mess. That's what I wonder, and I know we've gotten some flack for this in the past, being that if the difficulty was less in LFR, if it was more touristy, would there be less frustration? Would there be less all caps typing and yelling?
Sure.
If they did not have mechanics that would kill you or completely wipe the raid, would that make LFR a better experience?
Right. And we kind of talked about this last week because of other things that were happening, for Warlords and so on, especially about 5-man difficulty being a little bit, them actually going to a heroic difficulty level for Warlords. But it is kind of one of those things. You're right. If there were fewer mechanics, and I think for Warlords there will be. It sounds like they really want to make it into tourist mode. And again, that was Ghostcrawler talking, not anybody on the show. And if they did that, it would be a lot better for the casual crowd, which it is intended for. I mean, really.
Yeah.
That's what they've said. They've said they want LFR to be for the casual crowd, for those guys that can't get raid groups consistently, and maybe they don't have time to raid on a regular group. So this is for you guys.
Right. The biggest problems in any of the wings that I did and any of the issues we had were where it came down to a mechanic that one individual person was personally responsible for the success of the raid. Darumu, again, a good example where you had the color beams. If that person is AFK or just does not understand the mechanic at all, they wipe the entire raid. I think if they remove those kind of things from LFR, it makes the entire experience better for everyone. You know, you put one person in charge of the success of 25 people.
Yep.
And you know, you're bound to hit people that just, you know, want to watch the world burn. So
Wow.
Well, that does happen from time to time. I mean, I know that I've definitely seen it in LFR where you get somebody who is just there to cause problems.
yeah.
And that's
and
like,
it's like
the Batman quote.
What?
But there's some people that just want to watch the world burn.
That was pretty good. That's pretty good. That was good Michael Caine. So yeah, no, but it's true. You do get that from time to time in LFR because I mean you're dealing with people that really don't have. There's not a lot of accountability in LFR. There just isn't. And by trying to be a progression thing for those guys that want to actually raid, you know, trying to include enough mechanics for those guys. And still be something for the ultra casual crowd to be able to clear is a tough thing. And I know that Laura's talked about it in posts and other, you know, devs have always kind of said it's a two-headed beast, really. I mean, it's tough to manage.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I hope that as we approach Warlords that we really see that distinction happen. And I'm sure that this is going to be something that's going to be on our radar for a while.
Oh, yeah. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see what happens in WOD. I mean, Warlords. Now I'm saying WOD.
Yeah, I love it.
No!
Just for that, you get a big
Perfect.
applause.
No!
Yes.
I refuse those applause.
Man. All right. So Coltrane, what have you been up to in game?
Well, it's good to be back.
It's
I
good
missed
to have
guys.
you back.
Thank you. It feels good. I'm back in the saddle again. It feels good. I had a wonderful anniversary. We had a really wonderful, great time. I did miss you guys, but I got to tell you, that was one hell of a weekend, if you know what I'm saying. It was excellent.
Hello.
We had a great time. It was really, really good. But anyway, so it was nice. Feels good to be back. Oh boy, I got some raiding news for you boys.
Oh yeah.
So my monk, right?
Yeah.
I joined this raid team, right? And these guys, they meet, the poll is at 6 a.m. 6 a.m. server to 10 a.m. They raid 1 day a week for 4 hours, similar to the Asparagus Initiative.
Mm-hmm.
But this team is known as Rectified. Rectified. Yes.
See how you have the big intro and all that kind of crazy crap.
Wow.
Rectified, baby.
Way too early for that kind of rock music.
What
Yeah,
are you
it's
talking about?
way too early.
Man.
Kids in your loud music.
Huge shout out. But a big shout out to Zach De La Rosa for recording that for us. Old Z-Man and I. And we go way back. you
Right.
know,
Right.
the Z-Man.
Right.
But so anyway, we, in that time, we got down Garage.
Hey,
Garage got him down.
congratulations.
It's been awesome.
So did you get any good loot?
I got lots of good loot, baby. I got some Warforged bracers. I got, this old Wok Fu there. He's kind of starting to finally gear up.
Oh, wait,
wait.
hold on a second. Hold on a second. You said it.
We will Wok Fu.
You said it, so we had to play it.
I am full of energy and sounders. This is insane. This is like Audio Nation. This is crazy.
That's
But,
good.
But yeah, though, it feels really good because I've been playing catch up with my monk. Like I switched mains in 5-4, not recommended. And I've been playing nothing but catch up on the legendary quest, on getting geared up. And in fact, I am now 10 out of 12 in Titan Runestones.
Ooh, getting close.
So, I mean, that's a guarantee that I'm going to get it because Runestones drop off Shaw and they drop off Lei Shen.
Right.
So no matter what, I should have my legendary by next week.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, so I'm jazzed, man. So I got
Runestones drop off Shaw?
Yeah. Shaw of
Sure about
Pride?
that? You sure
Yes.
about that?
I'm 100% sure.
I thought it was only Lei Shen.
No?
think they may have adjusted that. I think they may have adjusted that in previous patches.
I think that you get them in both. You get them in the last 2 wings, and then, but I know they drop off Shaw. I know it. I
think they have a chance to, but I don't think it's guaranteed.
Well, nothing is guaranteed in life.
Except that they drop off Shaw of Pride. That is guaranteed. But nothing else is guaranteed. But no, I'm 100% sure that it drops off Shaw of Pride.
There we go.
But you might be right, but you're not. You know what
man.
So it's great, man. It feels so good to be back in the raiding scene. And this raid team is just awesome. It's a great group of guys.
Good.
And we just have a ton of fun in there. And we cleared all the way up to Garrosh in 3 hours. And then we would have had a kill. So we would have done the whole thing in 3 hours. And then, well, I, might have missed a interrupt on one of the ads, the mind control. And well, that was it. But it's all right. But we got him down, and I got that achievement, the ahead of the curve or whatever the jazz is. So, but yeah, it feels really good to be raiding again, especially with this awesome team named Rectified.
Oh.
Rectified.
That silence was brought to you by me. That silence was brought to you by me not hitting the button right away. So thank you.
Thank you very much for everything.
I know what.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, I know that we didn't raid on Sunday. The Asparagus Initiative didn't raid on Sunday. But I did do something which was kind of weird. It was a little weird. I actually played my hunter. I actually went to a different character and I played my Hunter Zug. It was so strange. It was so bizarre.
Which one? Because you have 2.
I know. I have 2. I have Zug, who is a Worgen, and then I also have Mug, which I brought up to 90. So I have Zug and Mug. Mug is a dwarf.
And both of these are on Airy Peak, correct?
Yes.
Okay, you have a problem. Okay. Yeah. Just making sure we're clear.
Yeah. When's Dig Duck? Like what? I mean, Mug, Grub.
Everything's gonna be something with Ugg at the end.
You gotta have like Dig, and then his pet name is Doug. Like that'd be perfect.
I actually did have a hunter on a different realm that I only leveled up to 10 or something like that. But his name was Doug, Dhug, and I don't think I named the pet, but yeah, I did have Doug.
Right.
And I may again at sometime. I have Chug. How
Chugger. Was it on your hunter? How was it?
It was weird because I am not used to DPSing at all. I'm used to staring at little green bars and making sure that they're green and not red. Because as soon as they're red, it's not good. So I'm used to doing that, and it was really strange because I am not used to target switching, and I'm not used to exactly what's going on in the rest of the raid. So it was really cool, actually. It was pretty fun, and we did a couple of different flex wings and got a bunch of loot, and it was good. It was nice.
That's awesome.
So that's
a good tip. If you want to be a better all-around raider, even if you are a healer like Zug mostly plays a healer, level a tank and level a DPS and go run LFR and flex in your current raid. I think and see what the fight is like that way.
I think that's totally true because you got to know what everybody else is doing at some point. And now is a really great time, especially, a lot of people have killed Garrosh on some level, on some difficulty level. And so, now may be a good time to experiment with an alt and bring up an alt and try it out that way too. We've got a while on this content, guys. So
we got some time, baby.
We've got a little bit of time.
2 more weeks.
Yes. At least 2 more weeks of this stuff. So it's a great time to go out and kind of play around and just kind of goof on things. So
that's awesome. In fact, I think, didn't I run that flex with you?
Yeah. That was all part of it. That was all part of it. We did a little flex run. You were there. But Jules was there. We have a bunch of people were there. It was crazy.
We killed bosses, man.
That's right.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nope. Nothing wrong with that at all. We did have a thing last week that we talked about, which was the Blizzard Stream Awards.
Yes.
And it looks like a lot of the winners have been selected. And I would like to take this time to thank everybody for voting for your favorites for the Twitch / Blizzard Stream Awards. It was good. And it looks like we actually came in third in the community channel category. So I'm gonna give ourselves a big applause because that's pretty huge.
That's awesome.
We were up against a tough crowd.
To come in third behind Day 9 is pretty good.
Yeah. Day 9 is incredible. And
guy's a lot bigger than we are.
He's a lot taller than me.
Bigger than everyone.
He's a lot taller than me. I know that much.
He really is.
I hung out with him at BlizzCon a little bit, and he is a tall guy.
Yeah, I mean, you look like a hobbit. I mean, holy cow.
I mean, I'm not short, but yeah, totally. I would agree with you. I would totally agree with you on that. But that's pretty cool. And thank you guys for voting. And if you want to check it out, head over to the World of Warcraft site, and you can see exactly all the different winners over there.
That's so awesome, man. But thank you. And I'm Chad. I can't believe we were even on the list.
I know.
Like, that's awesome. And then we took third. That's amazing.
I know. It was us and Legendary together.
Legendary.
So it was, and it's so strange because I'm on both. So it's kind of like, oh my God, what? It was like a double surprise of awesome. And we came in third, and that's awesome. And like all the comments on the on the forum post that they had were super positive for everybody. And so that was really great to see because you don't see that a lot in forums.
No.
Really positive responses.
Not usually.
Right.
Wow, that's double the crane right there.
Yeah, it was weird.
Here comes the hurricane. That's insane.
By the way, since
you like a hurricane.
Yeah. Since you did that, that's following me around now.
Yeah. Good.
Another thing, we actually had a quick question that I think we've received over time, and we didn't get to this last week, Colt. But you said that you had a lot of questions about what button bloat is, right?
Yeah. A couple of people have been asking, a couple of emails going, what exactly is button bloat? And it's an interesting thing because when we're talking in general conversation, we just, we know what it means and we just assume everybody else does. Like, oh yeah, button bloat. But really to someone who doesn't, what the heck's button bloat? So what button bloat actually has to do with too many abilities. You got too much stuff all over your hotbars. You got button bloat. You got too much. So in Warlords of Draenor, Blizzard is going to be removing certain abilities and skills from your toolbar. So you have less buttons to press, and hopefully you're spending more time looking at your character and not necessarily your hotbar. So button bloat is having just too many buttons, too much stuff to press.
Right. And I really realized that when I was playing my hunter, because hunters and warlocks, and there are certain classes where you play them and you're like, well, I don't know when I'm going to need this, so I'll just throw this on my hotbar.
Right.
Yeah, hunters are real bad.
Yeah. They're in a bad spot right now because, and then you're like, okay, well, I kind of know my rotation, but then I need the specialty shot, and where am I going to put this on my bar now? Where am I going to? So I was kind of going through some of that.
A lot of the chat room wants volley back.
I know, volley was awesome. I loved volley, especially the way that I really loved to do it was in Ice Crown. You had all those mobs like right at the beginning of the run, right? So you just set up volley and walk away for about 30 seconds, however long it was casting for.
Set it and forget it. That's why you loved it. You don't have to do anything. You just set it and forget it. Although I can't really complain because I love that too.
You have spinning kick, right?
Well, yeah, but you got to set it up. You got to do a little tiger palm first and a little rising sun kick, and then you can spin and do your rushing jade wind. And then you've got clones out there. You got to get tiger palm on your clones first, and then you do the RJW. There's a little bit more action. It's not a set and forget.
Right. But back to button bloat. Blizzard has said that they want to do that, and they're trying to figure out exactly what the best way to do that is. They still want to keep all of the classes feeling like, and all the different specs feeling like individual choices. So they don't want to remove something that's like key to that class or spec, but they're trying to pare it down.
Yeah. And if we don't like any of the abilities, then we can always blame Celestalon.
Oh, you jerk. What? Where is it? I don't know where it is now.
Queue them all up.
Here it is.
Queue them all up.
Celestalon, 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 Celestalon.
Oh, you jerk. You totally threw me off.
I'm back, baby. I'm keeping you on toes.
Oh,
Hit them all.
oh, right.
That's right.
Get it over with. Hit them all.
Making sure you're paying attention, Crane.
I guess. All right, let's maybe head into some raiding news.
Calling all raiders from around World of Warcraft land. This is raiding news.
All right, it's time to check out what's happening with raiding news around World of Warcraft. And while this may not be necessarily raiding related, it is definitely big news this week. And that is that WoW subscriptions are up. They're actually up by yeah, they're up. They just had a Q4 earnings call this week, and WoW is up to 7.8 million subscribers, and it's up by 200K. And so that all happened Q4. That's what they call it. Basically, the last 3 months of the year.
Wow.
So what's going on here, guys? What do you think? What's up with the upward trend in subs? Dairies?
This is a hard question. So, I mean, Blizzard hasn't seen this in a while. You haven't seen subs go up like this, but my guess is this has a lot to do with connected realms.
Really?
I think a lot of people are coming back because their servers aren't dead. They didn't want to pay the $65 or $35 or whatever it was to transfer off. They didn't want to leave the community they know, all these things. And now that their servers are connected, they've got this bigger community they can take part in. They can do a bit more raiding. I'm willing to bet that plays a pretty big part in it. I mean, we haven't seen anything else that's changed. Everything that's going on right now is what we always see at the end of expansion. This is where you expect people to leave. Because they finished the content. There's nothing new coming out for 6 months.
Right.
This is when people cancel their subscription for a while, and you see the numbers drop. But to go up like that, and connected realms be the only really big change here.
That can't be the only thing, can it? I mean, don't you think that BlizzCon has anything to do with this, or I don't know. I mean, there's a bunch of different things that are going on that people can get involved with.
BlizzCon wasn't 200,000 people, and I mean, what would BlizzCon do to make people want to come back? I mean, there was the announcement for Warlords, but are people going to reactivate their subscription to in preparation for something that's not out for 6 months? I don't know. Maybe
Coltrane,
or maybe that is.
What do you think?
Yes.
Yes, just a blanket yes.
Hello. So many people, and this is a lot, have said that they've come back to WoW now in preparation for Warlords for a couple of reasons. Now, hear me out. One thing is, Warlords looks awesome, right? Everyone's like, oh, cool, we're going back to the Burning Crusade days. Like, that's the overall vibe. When people mention Warlords, when I hear it in chat rooms, when I hear it on Mumble, it's like, oh, yeah, it's like old school Burning Crusade. And everyone's like, oh, cool, yeah, I love Burning Crusade. The rating was amazing, blah, 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 blah. So that's a positive. So that's one. Number two, when people talk, it's like, oh, well, now you can get, gear. You can get geared up in Timeless Isle. It's a little bit easier. You can get 496s. It's a lot easier to get your alts geared up. I know a lot of people at work even that have just come back. They're like, yeah, I've been hearing how this has been a great expansion, and then this new one coming out looks awesome. So I'm really interested in getting back into that. So I think that, yeah, like in preparation, I think for Warlords has caused a lot of people to come back. I think Mythic Raiding has also brought a lot of people to come back. There's been a lot of features and a lot of things that are coming out that people are getting excited about. Right. But it's interesting that usually subscription numbers fall off, then a new expansion launches, and then they spike. But now things are going back up. And I think it's in preparation for Warlords and how it's a lot easier nowadays to get alts geared up. Plus, I think when this prepaid 90 thing, all that stuff comes in, people are going to come back as well. That's going to bring even more people back, because they can have an instant level 90.
Yeah, that was my thought too. It was the ease that people are going to have to be able to play with their friends. And that a new player or a returning player will be able to come back, get a max level character, and we can talk about that as it progresses, I guess, because we're going to be talking about that I think in just a little bit as well. But it's pretty cool. You'll be able to play with your friends at max level, and you'll be able to experience the game, have fun, gear up fairly easily, and yeah, just kind of pal around with your friends, which I think is so key for a lot of this stuff, and going flexible with all the raids, making sure that it's really easy to just kind of group up with people. I think this is one of the best things that Blizzard has done with this game in a long time. I mean, I think this shoots over every mechanic change or whatever. This is like a big thing.
Yeah, the cross-realm stuff has been incredible. And a couple of people from work, we all log on and we can all raid together. We can run a dungeon together, even though we're on different servers. Never been able to do that before. Now it's really just an issue of faction, So it's amazing what they've done and different elements that they've added and features to allow you to game with your friends and to play. And with the instant boost to 90, being able to gear up that 90 on the Timeless Isle, it's just bringing people back in droves, as we can see here with the numbers. So.
Right. I think the big question, though, is do you think that they're going to be able to retain these numbers until Warlords? Because we are going to have some time before then. I mean, the beta's not out or anything like that. So, I mean, are they going to be able to keep these people around playing throughout the rest of this expansion into Warlords?
Yeah, with no new content for the next 6 months, are these... I mean, normally this is the point where we see almost 1 million people leave the game, and to say that we're up 200K, it's good. It's safe to assume that they have gone up 1 million, or they haven't, lost those million that they would normally lose. So that's a lot of accounts. And if those people all came back from after WoD and they're thinking, I'm gonna get all these new models and we're gonna go back to this, this old BC style, and all this other stuff, and they create their accounts and they log in and none of this is there, they're going to say, well, what am I doing? I'm just wait until that thing comes out. That's all I really want to do anyway.
Right.
So, we could see this number severely drop off in Q1 of 2014. That could be pretty bad.
Well, that's a possibility, but consider too, for them, all of Mists of Pandaria is all new content for them. It's like we were when we first started this new expansion. You know what I mean? It's going to be all new. And even though, yes, they might be max level, it's still going to be new and fresh to them. A buddy of mine, Gordon, just got back into the game. And he's like, oh my gosh, like this whole continent and all these quests and this lore. And he's like, this is really, really cool stuff. Because to him, now it's brand new. You know what I mean?
That's assuming that all of these people that have just come back are players that haven't played in years, and I don't think that's a safe assumption, because you always see significant, millions of users attrition over the course of an expansion. I mean, we've seen it over MoP. I'm willing to bet that most of these people are people that have played MoP and have left because they didn't like Throne, they didn't like Siege, whatever reason it was. They've left, and now they've either reactivated their account or BlizzCon got them excited or whatever it was. There's probably a lot of people in here that are confused and thought Warlords was actually out and log in and they find pandas.
I don't think that that's the case, because they have to buy Mists of Pandaria in order to, subscribe.
Well, they just, reactivate their account or something.
Right. Right. I suppose that could be.
I guess Blizzard will never know, we'll never know where all this stuff come from, but I'd like to know.
Right. Well, and I think that there's something kind of cool. I mean, you have the movie that is filming right now.
Right.
You have all these other little things that are out there about World of Warcraft, and then you have BlizzCon, and then you have all these different things. I think part of this number has to be players coming back that have unsubbed at some point, because they like the game, they just couldn't necessarily keep up with everything. And if they get an instant 90, it's going to be great. It's going to be, fun. And plus, they have such a large market to try to market to when you're talking about people that have unsubbed from the game. this is one of those games. They now have way more people that have unsubbed from the game than they do subscribed right now. You know, they have, I think it was, what did they say? 100 million accounts were created over time, even trial accounts. And I think that we've seen, you know, if that's the case, if it's been like, let's just say half of that number has actually played World of Warcraft and subscribed, then that's a huge amount of people.
But that's since what? Vanilla?
Yeah.
That's it. Since
well,
ever.
that's like, 7-8 years. Like,
I know, but they have all these people that have played over the course of time, and it's a huge market. And if they went at any time and they said, I like this game, I really enjoy playing it, but I just can't play it right now, this is a great reason to come back. I can jump back in with my friends and go play at max level.
Mm-hmm.
If this 7.8 million subscribers number, because they said in that infographic they released that it was 100 million including trials.
Right.
If this 7.8 million includes trials, then I could see that. I could see this being a big part in part of BlizzCon. You know, people having never played the game but seeing all this BlizzCon news and thinking, oh, maybe I should give this a shot.
That's not trials. That is subscriptions. So that is subscription.
Okay.
So not trials. Just letting you know. Anything else on this, fellers?
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I think it's prep. It's interesting that the numbers are going up and not going down. So that's a good thing.
I love it.
So many people I've talked to in a general conversation is, I'd like to come back to WoW, but gosh, what's the I got to level up to what? To 90 to be able to play with you?
Right.
Oh, no. You'll be able to boost straight to 90. What?
Right. Right.
Well, then, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly.
Good thing.
More subscribers is a good thing for everyone. It's, so this is good.
Yeah.
This is good.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk a little bit about PvP.
You down with PvP? Yeah, you know me. You down with PvP? Yeah. You down with PvP? Yeah, you know me. Who's down with PvP?
Yeah, we have to do a sounder for everything this show, I guess.
That's
so
right.
Why not for PvP as well? Apparently, season 14 is coming to an end soon. Soon. TM. Now, why do we ever care about PvP, Coltrane, on this show?
Because we love Brian Halinka.
Well, there's
'Cause we
that.
have nothing else to talk about.
Halinka gave an amazing fortune cookie a couple of weeks back.
Yeah.
Halinka's our boy. He will always be welcome here.
Right.
Brian Halinka. Man.
Oh man. So basically one of the things is that with the PvP season ending, that could also mean something else though, right? Darius, maybe I'll swing over to you. What does that mean?
Yes. So PvP seasons usually mark the release of major content. So in this case, PvP season 14 ending soon means that PvP season 15 is going to start soon. Go figure.
Sure.
But PvP, they've already said PvP season 15 will be the last PvP season of MOP, the entire expansion.
Right.
And PvP seasons on average last anywhere between 20 to 25 weeks. That's they've even tweeted, Link even tweeted a couple weeks ago that they want it to last no more than 25 weeks. So based on that, if PvP at season 14 ends soon, you can safely bet that Warlords will come out probably 20 to 25 weeks later.
Whoa!
You're excited. You are excited. So that,
in Halinka we trust.
right. So that puts us somewhere. I did the maths, and it puts us somewhere probably late July, early August.
It's Thursday, if my math is correct. It's coming out.
I don't think you're necessarily right, but
Yeah, I don't think that's correct.
that sounds
Right.
off.
Are you
Right.
sure?
Sounds a little short.
Couple of days
Right.
there.
Yeah. So
yeah.
but if the math is right, then that puts us at end of summer, I guess late summer anyway, of this year. And Colt, you're excited?
Yeah. Hello. Let me think about that one. Yes, because you know what I'm also excited about?
Huh.
If we're talking release dates, that means beta. That means it's got to be somewhat soon. TM,
Right.
right?
One would think.
They got to start testing this stuff, baby.
So let's update a couple of things here. Let's update our predictions on when we're going to see beta and when we're actually going to see the release of WoD. I mean Warlords.
Thank you.
So, Darius, when do you think we're going to see beta and when do you think we're going to see Warlords?
Beta first week of March is when they'll start talking about the beta. That's when you'll hear, the beta's coming soon, or this is how you get into the beta, that kind of stuff. Because for MOP, it was if you pre-ordered MOP or if you had the annual subscription. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
You'll start hearing about that in about 2 weeks. And I think the game will come out end of summer.
Okay.
I don't think they'd release it midsummer. I think that'd be a poor choice.
Yeah, I think so too. Coltrane, how about you? For beta and for the release.
This silence was brought to you by Coltrane.
Well, I like it.
You like that?
I
that
do.
was from earlier in the show.
That was a nice recall on that one.
Yes, it was.
That was good. That was good.
When you screwed me when I was talking about the raid team known as Rectified. Rectified. Woo!
I got it that time.
There you go.
No silence on that one.
Attaboy, Crane. Attaboy. Yes.
So what are you thinking for the beta and for the release?
Holy cow.
I'm not going to let you out of that just because you brought up your raid team.
Aries said a couple of weeks. That sounds pretty good to me. Holy cow. A couple of weeks? Are you serious? That's right around the corner, man. If that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're talking like 2-3 weeks here.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So yeah, I'm going to go with a couple of weeks. That sounds good to me.
All right.
Holy cow. That's exciting.
That is exciting, isn't it?
Oh.
And then do you think that we're going to see probably, August-ish?
That sounds actually right. If that PvP season 14, I mean, that's a good call, compadre.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Holy cow.
Yeah. It sounds good to me too.
Alinka, what are we gonna do? Alinka. Alinka!
Thank you for tipping your hat on all of the timing stuff, Halinka. Thank you for that. We appreciate that.
I think he knew what he was doing. I think.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Alinka
that was
always knows what he's doing.
Another thing that usually comes with the end of a PvP season, by the way, is also a patch. And we have patch 5.4.7, which has been on the PTR for a while. And if you remember the patch, there are a couple of cool things with this. There is the free 90 and the buy a 90 program with 5.4.7. It's been in test mode, so I don't know if anybody's actually been successful at testing it. But yeah, this could be a thing too.
Right.
So now all these 200K new people, they can get their free 90, and so can everybody else. Isn't that gonna be cool if that actually ends up happening?
I'd like a 90.
That's awesome.
So what would be your first 90? Berries.
I mean, I haven't done a DK or a warrior. Those are the last two. So probably another priest.
Yeah. at least 3 more priests, and then you'll be good to go.
I would absolutely love an option if they do add the buy a 90 program, not for the free one, but buy a 90. It's $30, buy a 90. I would pay an extra $30 if it came with a legendary. If I didn't have to grind that thing out.
Ooh! Oh, you're throwing something else into the mix. Look at you!
I would pay double the price if I didn't have to grind out a legendary.
I would probably do that too.
90.
I would probably. Yes.
I want
Add that in,
legendary.
Blizz. Add that in, please. That would be great. Oh, Coltrane, just think of it. Then you could switch alts all you wanted to.
Well, that wouldn't be good. I'm just about to finally get my legend. I'm getting it next week.
I know.
That would be terrible.
I know.
Like, wait a minute. I just grinded this whole thing out, and now for $30, I can get it for free.
Well, it is, as I called it, it is the people's legendary.
Well, you're right.
Not that it's easy to get. It's just that everybody can get it.
I mean, my paladin, which I've been doing now, that's my 4th legendary. Like I think I've earned the right to purchase one. At this point.
Wow, 4?
Yeah, this is my 4th.
You have
priest, druid, monk, and now my paladin.
I knew you had 2. I didn't know that you had 3 and going on to 4th.
Yeah.
That's a lot of jazz, man. Holy cow.
That's a lot of jazz.
A lot of LFRs.
Wow.
Let me tell you something, guys. If pooping your pants is cool, then call me Miles Davis. You know what I'm saying? That's insane. That's from a movie. I can't take credit for that.
Why can't that be the fortune cookie?
Come on. That's from a movie.
Which movie was that from?
That was not Happy Gilmore. Billy Madison.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Adam Sandler.
Right. Oh, that was great.
Wow, 4. Holy cow, that's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. I would do the same though. If a legendary came with it, I would definitely pay double. That'd be awesome. I'd like that. All right.
Even if it came with nothing, it was a totally naked 90, no gear but a legendary, I would still do it.
It's just nude with the legendary cloak.
Yeah, and I would raid like that. Just the cloak on.
Just the cloak and nothing else.
Right.
Oh, man. All right, let's move it along. So 5.4.7 could be coming along soon. But of course, Ian Watcher Hazacosta is the leading counter designer over at Blizzard. He is talking about 6.0 this week via Twitter. So 6.0, patch 6.0, is going to be the pre-patch for Warlords, right? So it's going to be
what they do for every expansion, yeah.
Right. So this is going to come out for everybody before the actual expansion. And for this, it looks like we are going to see some big changes in the way that we raid. Isn't that right, Darius?
Yeah. So patch 6.0, which they usually give you about 2 weeks to a month on it before the expansion comes out, so you can test all the new stuff in the current raids you've been running. But the biggest change, or one of the biggest changes we'll see, is that everything will go to the new raid system in 6.1. So you'll have Flex, Heroics, and Mythic for everything.
Right.
For Siege of Orgrimmar. And, well, he didn't say that it was going to be, taught or anything like that. So Siege of Orgrimmar will go to the new system, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So get ready to change your Flex to normals, your normals to Heroics, and your Heroics to Mythic.
In Siege?
In Siege.
Whoa. You mean to tell me that they're going to have Mythic raiding in Siege of Orgrimmar?
Yeah.
In name only. It's you won't be getting new mechanics or mechanics that are tuned for 20 people or whatnot. You'll get the style where you raid with 20 people and normal/heroic.
You don't think they're going to change? You don't think they're going to scale it for 20?
No, I don't. They might scale the boss's health, but they're not going to change mechanics or add in this mechanics where you need a priest or you need a rogue or you need a whatever.
Right. They wouldn't introduce new mechanics, but they would tune mechanics to be able to handle 20 instead of 25.
Yeah, I mean they'll change the numbers a little bit, but you're not gonna see anything new as far as mechanics go.
Right.
It's just it'll be a way for you to go in and test this and flex size and normal/heroic, so you'll be able to go in and do that with your flex group, but get normal/heroic gear and test the scaling and all that kind of stuff. So
right.
Holy cow! That's that's insane. Anybody did that Mythic in Siege?
Yeah. I
mean, nobody thought that. I mean, I don't. Maybe the public totally knew, but that's crazy.
Well, you figure that they're going to be testing out all the different mechanics from now until the release of Warlords, right? So they're going to be testing out all these different new things before they actually hit, so that when we get into Warlords, it's going to be Warlords of Destruction. It's going to be just a smooth transition. We're not going to have any hiccups, no problems. We're just gonna play.
I love it. In fact,
I have that trademarked, by the way, Warlords of Destruction. So you have to pay me royalties for using them.
It's interesting. Goldie Katsu in the chat room just said, I like that they are live testing it before the new raids, which will need full-on testing in addition to the new raid system. And that's true. Mm-hmm. I like it that they are bringing this into live now. We can check it out. It's not going to be all just part of Warlords. I just assumed it would just be in the new expansion, but that's pretty awesome, man.
Right.
We get to check it out and get a feel. And also, I mean, we just cleared Garrosh on normal. If that now goes up to heroic, that means more loot, baby.
Sure. But if you go up to mythic rating,
Right.
you only have a 10-man team right now, right?
Right. Well, yeah.
Your normal, your flex becomes normal. Normal
Right.
becomes heroic, and heroic
Right.
becomes mythic. So I don't think if you killed it on normal, you're gonna log in and get the heroic achievement. I don't think that's how it's gonna work.
Right. Because it's just a name change, really.
Yeah.
It's not a difficulty change.
Okay, so here's a question. So Garrosh in heroic mode, he goes to that new phase in Stormwind. Is that new phase going to now only be in mythic and
Correct.
it will not be in heroic?
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah, it'll only be in mythic.
Okay.
So it's weird with the name changes because they made normal heroic and we have heroics now, and so it's like this.
They're basically just shifting everything to the right one.
Yeah.
If you look at it that way.
They're moving the
So what
decimal
about-
point.
What about gear eye levels? What about eye levels of gear?
So you will
Those
find
are probably going to stay the same.
right.
And they'll just take the flex tag off of flex gear. It'll still have the same flex eye level. That'll be the normal. And then your normal gear will say heroic on it, but still have the same normal eye level. And then mythic gear, instead of saying heroic on it, will say mythic and have the same heroic eye level. The 572.
Gotcha. So that heroic, like it's like 553 now, drops in normal.
Right. And that will drop in heroic once they make these changes in 6.0.
Oh,
Yeah,
see,
that'll
I was
just say
hoping I'd get that heroic gear. You know,
Well, it'll say
Come
heroic
on.
gear on it.
Yeah,
but
it'll
it
say
won't have
heroic.
Heroic eye level.
it's about eye level, baby. You got to get that more agility, more intellect, all that jazz.
But this does mean for 10-player teams that are going through right now, and maybe they're not to heroic yet, but they want to be able to try heroics, especially once 6.0 hits. That does mean that you're going to need 10 more friends to go do this in Mythic. Right, Darius?
Yeah, if you're going to do Mythic, you need 20 people.
Yeah.
It doesn't scale, or you can't do it in 10 or 25. You're going to need the 20 people.
So,
Wow.
so that's going to be kind of a pain.
Yeah, but also this is good because we've got some time before the new expansion. So now we can start recruiting and forming your mythic teams now
Right.
while you're waiting on Warlords.
You almost said it again, buddy.
I almost said it.
I love it. I love it.
Oh, I don't know what's happened. You've plagued my mind.
It's the
Craig.
beard. It's the beard.
It's the beard.
It's the beard is overtaking.
The beard. So, but yeah, I mean, this is going to give you time because we are going to have some downtime here before the next expansion. So now would be a good time to start recruiting, get everybody all geared up and ready to go. Originally, we were thinking that those first 10 levels, while you're leveling, you're going to be trying to recruit, for Mythic and while you're clearing normals and heroics. But now with some time in Siege, you can do all that recruiting now, or at least starting to gain awareness and get people going. That's kind of cool, man.
Yeah.
That's going to help with the downtime or the lull of in-between expansions.
Yeah,
at least from a
certainly
Raiders perspective. From a Raiders perspective, I think.
It certainly could. And it'll be kind of painful, I think, at the beginning of this change. Like the initial change is going to be tough for a lot of people, but I think in the end, what ends up happening is that it's going to be a good thing for rating, a good thing for being able to really solidify mechanics on all these different bosses. No longer have that 10 versus 25 mentality that's been going around. We're just all at the same difficulty level when it comes to Mythic, and everything else is flexible. That's awesome. So some really positive changes overall. I think that initial change is going to be a little tough for some teams.
Yeah. But I mean, we have so much, almost a year of warning on this. So if you aren't ready by then that's not anyone's fault but your own.
Wait, almost a year? Is your math off again?
No, if
his math is
if
off.
WoD comes out in September,
and
BlizzCon was in November, that's 10 months of warning.
Oh, I gotcha.
So it's almost a year.
Because I was like, well, come on.
No.
I mean, we're talking about 6.0 and we're
spoiler, WoD's coming out next week.
Right. It's coming, and Warlords is coming out on Thursday, apparently.
It's Thursday.
According to your new math, which is not right. That's not right.
It's completely incorrect. I guarantee it will not be arriving on a Thursday.
That is wrong. So more stuff to keep track of as we kind of roll through. Other than that, it's been kind of a quiet week over at Blizzard.
I'm excited, man. Things in the raiding scene. I'm excited for Warlords and where it's going, and with the flex and the scaling, and now the mythic and all that. It's a good time to be a raider, man. You got different difficulties. Now. You got everything. It's all. Oh, it's perfect. You got something for everybody. You know what I mean? They all got their little bits of jazz, baby, and it makes one hell of a jazz band when you put it all together. Ooh, it's gonna be great. I'm just excited.
You and jazz.
I know. Nice. I got it on my mind. My mind. And the quote was, "If pee in your pants is cool, not poop."
Yeah, doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. All right, let's move it on into some leading the raid.
Leading the raid.
That's right. When we can, we take a look into leadership issues for raid leaders everywhere. And this week, we actually have a listener question that could be of interest to everyone. Now, last week, if you recall, we talked about how to bring your normal team into heroics. This time around, we're actually going to be talking to the casual folks that have not been able to get into a raid yet. And we have that the listener email right here. Coltrane, can you help us out?
Sure. This is from Jevanex Manaroth, a.k.a. Tishay. Says this: if the prerequisite to raiding is experience, then how do you start raiding? I've done all of SOO LFR 20 times over. I've never been led into a raid due to experience and achieves being a requirement. LFR is no longer providing anything. I'm fully gemmed, enchanted, and reforged. I'm on the quest line for the legendary cloak, and I'm at the part where I have to find the secrets. Good luck. That's 20. Even people having flex raids want people at 540 plus eye level with experience. Why would I go to flex if I need nothing from it? Despite all of my preparation, I can't get into a raid. I'm guild hopping to find a raid group. How can I get into real raids when experience is an issue? I feel like I'm applying for an entry-level position where prior experience is required. I feel like raiding is an exclusive club. I've been trying to get in for years. Membership denied.
Oh, yeah. Oh. So it's a tough spot, that's for sure, when you're looking for a raid team and you can't get in because they say you don't have any experience. So how do you get into any experience if you can't raid? Darius, do you have suggestions, I guess?
So this email confuses me. Maybe the writer is confused. He says that LFR is no longer providing anything, but then he goes on to say that he needs nothing from Flex.
No. No. It's, first of all, it's a she. I kind of pared down this email a little bit so I can fill in some gaps. But she said that LFR no longer provides anything for her, but people that are looking for Flex Raid pugs to fill in are looking for 540 gear levels, meaning that they need nothing from Flex.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
So people are like, oh yeah, I'll invite you to this Flex, but you have to have a 540 eye level. Why would I do Flex if I don't need anything? So that's the question there.
I see. Okay. So I mean, it's possibly this is just Manaroth, but I see Flex groups form all the time where you don't see this eye level requirements. I mean, I've run plenty of Flex where the eye level requirement is 500 or something like that. It's I don't see this that often, but we're on a different kind of server.
Sure.
As far as guild hopping to find a raid group or to get into a real raid, I mean, it's so hard to say. I mean, again, maybe it's just Manaroth. I don't know if Manaroth's been combined with another server. I think it has. So I've got to think there's something out there. But how do you get in without any experience whatsoever? If you've got friends on the server, you could try forming your own Flex group and inviting people. Leading it yourself or having someone lead it if you don't feel comfortable leading it. It's just keep trying to pug and get a couple of those first bosses killed on normal if possible. That might help, but man, this is a tough question. If you're on a server that's being very exclusive in who they let in, that's kind of a hard one to crack.
It's a tough one for sure. I mean, this is kind of one of those deals where some groups, some people are looking for eye levels that are just not doable for those guys that are stuck in LFR mode. Colt, do you got anything on this?
Well, we've talked about this in the past. Flex raid leaders, they want to be carried. You know, they're asking for, like we said, these 540 plus eye levels, and I've seen it myself, and it just doesn't make sense. Why would you need 540? You can't get anything from flex, you know, because I think people want it to be a smooth and an easy run, and they want to be carried through.
Right.
I think the answer here is you. I think that we as raiders at some time need to step up to the plate and say, you know what? I am going to put in looking for group. I'm going to put in trade chat. Flex raid starting, flex wing 1, looking for eye level 500, you know, plus or whatever. I mean, personally, I would love if you got rid of the eye level thing, but I understand some people feel comfortable and need to do that.
Right.
But I think that you should try to lead your own raid. Maybe a buddy of yours who's into leading raids, start your own flex group. What's great about a flex group is this is a gateway into a normal raid team. If you find a group of people that always meet Saturdays at 3 p.m. and we always do flex together, this is an easy transition. If you've done flex together, you're having a good time, into normal mode raiding. It makes it very easy and a very, very good thing to do. So I think in this case, what you're saying, I completely understand. You're absolutely right. I've seen this myself. I think it's up to you, unfortunately, or if you know somebody, but try and start your own flex group. Start there or start your own raid team. But if you start flex, you kind of can establish this mentality of what kind of group are we going to be? Are we going to be hardcore? Are we going to be a little bit more casual and fun and laid back? But you set the tone.
Right.
And then this can lead into a normal mode raid team.
Yep. And you know, another thing too, I do agree with you completely, Colt. I think that starting your own flex team is probably not a bad idea. I do think that there's also, you know, like OQ that you could get into. There are different groups that form all the time. So you might be able to find something in OQ.
Or open raid.
Yeah, or open raid.
Yep.
So, I mean, there are possibilities out there for finding these things cross-realm fairly easily as well. So I don't think that you're necessarily out of luck, especially if you're timid about forming your own flex raid. However, I think that if you really want to do it, you're going to have to take matters into your own hands. That's what I had to do, actually. When I first started raiding, what I did was I switched servers over to Earthen Ring. That was when we were over in Earthen Ring. Mm-hmm. And I switched servers over there because I knew that there were a lot of folks over there. I had done my research. And I needed to, what I wanted to do is I wanted to have a morning raid team. It just worked out for my schedule a lot better to have a morning raid team. And I, instead of, you know, just saying, okay, is there a team forming? Okay, then I'll try to apply to it. No, I went, you know what? I'm going to step up. I'm going to be a leader. I'm going to go into, I had never raided before. And I just went, screw it. I'm going to start my own team.
Right.
And I had no idea what was going on whatsoever. I didn't have strats. I didn't have anything really. I mean, I was just there. And I think sometimes that's all that it takes is somebody to start it, because I hear about this stuff all the time. I hear about people wanting groups that are, you know, they want to get out of LFR only. They want to move up into flex and into normals. And what can I do? Start your own team. Start your own thing.
Be that spark.
Yeah. I mean, even if you don't know everything, I mean, you've done it in LFR, so you have a really good understanding. But you know, if you don't know everything and you're not fully confident, just act like you do, and no one's going to question it. And you'll be just fine.
Right. Nobody will question anything, because
just be confident and you'll do it. But
yeah,
I also think, unfortunately, you're in a tough spot right now where the legendary is pretty easy to get. It just requires time. And unfortunately, this has been the case with this game forever, where people equate gear with skill, and people look at you and they see you don't have the legendary and they think, oh, she's terrible. She's a bad player.
Right.
Something like that. And that's not true. And it's unfortunate, but that's what most people do. So, you know, if you can get that legendary, if you can, you know, get some good RNG and get the secrets and finish it out, that might help a little bit.
Right.
In getting into a normal group. But unfortunately, there's not much you can do about that mentality that you know, is all over the game and all over games in general.
Right.
Yeah. But also don't let that hold you back, because it held me back. when I was with my monk, I was like, well, I don't want to get into normal mode. I'm playing catch up. I just want to, let me get the legendary first. I'll get the legendary and then I'll start maybe looking for a team or whatever. And I was talking to Elder Shield, who's the raid leader of the team. And he's like, look, man, let's just start now. Start going now. It's okay if you don't have your legendary right now. Let's just do this now. Let's get in and give it a shot and give it a go. And it was like, okay, like it's okay in a way. If you don't have the legendary, it's all right. I'm just saying, don't let that hold you back. Start your own raid team. Like Zug was saying, like Darius has been saying, start it up. Don't let that hold you back. There is a mentality of it. Well, then try and break that mentality. And don't be scared. I was scared. I was scared.
Well,
and Elder Shield was like, no, let's just come in and just give this a go. And we did, and it's been amazing.
People are always, and I think one of the things is you don't want to disappoint the other people on your team, no matter who you're with. If you're with total strangers, you're worried that they might troll you a little bit. And if you're with your friends, you don't want to disappoint them. You don't want to let them down by doing bad DPS or, whatever your standard is, right? And so I think that's where you were at, Colt, because I know that you're when you raid, you are amazing. You pull off amazing numbers for whatever eye level you're at, which is great. Because you really put in the time and the research and try to make sure that your rotations are right and your priorities are good and all that kind of stuff. So, if you're that type of person, yes, I understand that there might be a little bit of hesitation because you don't want to come off as being a noob, I guess, or something.
Send payment to Zug for saying that on the show. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah. But I mean, the other thing too is that it's kind of scary. I mean, if you have never led anything like this before, it can be a little intimidating. But you have to be a brave person. You have to be a brave person. You have to, if you want to do this, you are going to have to take matters into your own hands. That's really the biggest thing. So, and I don't think that guild hopping is going to be the way to do it. I think that guild hopping actually hurts your chances more than helps.
Because then you definitely want to make friends with people in the guild. You want to get to know them, and then they know you as a player and a person, not as your gear and your eye level.
Right. And the only way to do that is to stick with your friends in your guild. So get to know the people in your guild. If there's only one team in the guild, figure out if there's another way that you can join them. Maybe Flex is the answer. And hopefully that will be the case. It's just kind of one of those things where really it's all up to you on this one. You have to lead yourself out of this, out of LFR only.
That's right. Be the spark that lights the flames of victory. Yes. Yeah.
Or something. Or something. Anything else here on this one, fellers?
Should be two.
Okay, so let's get into some Q&A.
We've got mail.
We do, and if you have a question about anything for us, about rating or whatever, just let us know. We'll try to answer it on the show. You can email us at converttoraid@gmail.com or call our raid line, 612-787-RAID, or you can join us during our live show and just try to flag us down. We'll see if we can get to it. We have a lot of questions this week. Let's see what we can get through. Darius, can you read the first one for us, please?
So this is from Blade Moon. He says, "Hey guys, love the show." That's what he says.
What was that? That was like the weirdest open for that. Nice work.
He says, "Love the show. Keep up the awesome work. Just had a quick question about attendance. I'm an officer in a normal mode 25-man guild. And while we aren't really that hardcore, as officers, we really stress that people be on time for raid night because it's just kind of rude to hold up 24 other people. I agree. With normal mode becoming heroic mode in WAD and becoming flex."
Coltrane just grumbled. Coltrane's beard applauded, though. Coltrane's beard was totally for it.
Is it still possible to have a pretty strict attendance policy? Because technically, if someone's late, they're not holding everyone else up. We could just go in and start with 18 of our 23 raiders. But I just feel like things would be a lot more disorganized if there were no attendance policy, and don't want to just become complexity lax on attendance, completely lax on attendance. What are your guys' thoughts?
All right. So we're talking about attendance here, Coltrane.
What do you think, Zug? You go first.
All right. Here's my suggestion for you. Say that you're going to start at a time and start. Yes, you won't be missing out on anything if like one or two people don't show up right away. But the thing is that there's something that Coltrane really likes that could be a little carrot for for all of your teammates to know, to be able to kind of lure them in in a timely fashion, and that is Coltrane. Do you know the answer?
No. What?
It's loot. It's loot, baby.
Yeah.
If you start at let's say it's 8:00, and you start at that time every single time, and you say to the guys that are late, I don't care if you're late, you're just not going to get any loot. Man, those guys will they will come to the raid. They will come on time. They will be there for you. I think especially if they need something off of that first boss that you're doing. So I think that's the way to go. Just say we're starting and start.
Right. That sounds like a DKP thing, though, right?
Well, not really. I mean, if you're dealing with flex raid, it's not really. It's not DKP. It's just, hey, be here, or you have no chance at this loot off of this boss that we're doing first.
Right.
So, Coltrane, you have any thoughts on this one?
Well, that's a toughie, man, because there's positives and negatives to everything, right? If I'm running late and I know I'm not going to get loot, I might not just show. Like, well, I guess I just won't show up.
But there are going to be other bosses, you know.
Well, that's true. I think, but you still need players. You still need, to kill said boss.
Right.
I mean, that's a tough thing. I mean, attendance is key. Late people that are late, people that don't show up, that can kill a raid team faster than anything.
Right.
Especially, even just people running late. I was a little bit late. I felt terrible this last Saturday. I was running a little bit late because I woke up late because I was so freaked out that I was going to wake up late that I woke up late.
So your fears became real, is what you're saying.
Yes, they did. They became completely realized.
Right.
But attendance is key in any raid team. And you don't want to let down your fellow raiders. You need to be there for them because they're there. So you need to be there.
Right.
But I don't know how to fix it. You do need to have a strict attendance policy. You do. What's the fix? No loot? Is it a DKP system where you minus 50 DKP? Or
right.
I don't know what it would be. Darius, in your you've done heroic level raiding, hardcore stuff. How did the attendance rules work with those groups?
Well, I think what Zug's saying is basically saying that we are starting at 8 p.m. tonight. If you're not here, we're starting without you. And if you need gear from Immersius and you're not here, you're not getting gear from Immersius because you won't be there for the kill.
Right.
But any boss you're there later on, you'll get gear. I think that's what he's saying.
Yes.
Not if you don't show up, you don't get gear for the night.
Right.
Even
right,
if you show up late. Which I think is a great incentive. I think Zug is right on there. If you only need anywhere between 10 and 25 people. If you only need 10 people and 14 show up of your 25, then you pull because you pull at 8 and people that need gear will start showing up. Because if you wait a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour, even 10 minutes to pull that boss until you've got your 25 people, you've now not killed a boss on the back end. And instead of 5 people not getting gear on Immersius, 25 people are not getting gear on Garrosh. And that's not fair.
Yeah. And I think the nice thing is that, when we get into Warlords, and actually when we get into 6.0, because, now that we know that 6.0 is going to be there and they're going to be changing all the different raid things. So once we get into 6.0, we're going to be able to say, oh, you know what? We can just go. Or, maybe we need an extra healer or something like that, but we don't need the full team there. So we can just go and have fun and kill bosses. Because that's what raid teams do, right? They don't wait around for their friends. No, they go and kill bosses. But right now we have to wait around a little bit. So that's always kind of tough.
Yeah.
Ooh. We have another one from K. And since it begins with a K, maybe Coltrane, you should read this one.
Yes. He says, hi all. Like the host of CTR, I recently decided to change it up and trying to roll some Alliance tunes. Perhaps I have grown a bit too accustomed to my Horde guild, where I can access bank tabs and the guild pays for my repairs. I'm trying out a couple of guilds on Alliance side. One of them pays for my repairs and allows me access to the guild bank. The other does not. Both guilds have dozens of active members and tens of thousands of gold in the bank. Since I'm only level 20, my generous Alliance guild only spends about 1 silver per day to fund my repairs, but the sentiment speaks volumes. I know that every time I finish a quest, a few copper go into the guild bank. It almost pains me to give the stingy guild money that just makes the guild richer. What do you think? Should players expect a per diem compensation for repairs, however small?
Right. So we're talking about guild bank stuff. And I definitely have an opinion on this one, but I'll let Darius go first. Darius, what do you think about this?
You have to make sure, you have to understand that the guild perk, that every time you do a quest or loot and money goes to the guild, that's not coming out of your share. That's extra. So if you get 10 copper and 10% goes to the guild, you don't get 9 and they get 1. You get 10 and they get 1 extra.
Right.
So it's not making you any cheaper by doing that. So you do have to understand that was a big confusion, and maybe still is when that perk went live. So you're not giving it to them, but I do find it kind of strange that a guild would have multiple, I guess, levels for people that are leveling, and if you're a low level, you only get 1 silver per day. I would think you would give people more.
Well, I think he's saying it would just cost the guild 1 silver per day for repairs on a level 20 tune versus a max level,
where it's like 76 gold per repair.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
I mean, it depends on how much how much money the guild has, how much it's bringing in. It depends on the what's the purpose of the guild? Is the guild there for heroic level rating, and they're that's what they're all driving towards? That's the mission statement of the entire guild and things like that. So does all that money go towards that, and you're just one of the people leveling? It depends on the guild here. I know within CTR, and Zug will talk to this, we're in a very unique situation.
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
But as I would say that you should get some type of compensation for your repairs, even if it's a gold per day, or something like that, or even 10 gold per day.
Yeah.
If you are leveling, because by leveling you are helping with, with the cash flow perk, where you're bringing money into the guild, and you are helping create a community, things like that. You might even be giving mats back to the guild and whatnot. But there's a hard line to balance there, because you could have people that are doing the opposite. They're leveling and they're taking from the guild. They're not providing anything positive. But how do you track those kind of people? So.
Yeah. Well, and I'll just speak about the CTR guild, because it's a very unique situation, right? So the CTR guild, the way that it works, as far as guild repairs, is we only provide repairs to raiders, because we are focused on raiding. We have how many teams was it, Coltrane? Like 90 something?
92, I think.
At last
90?
count, and it might be more than that. I don't know.
It's more at this point.
It's like 150 active raid teams or something.
Active raid teams.
So,
yeah, it's insane.
So we have a unique problem over on the CTR guild. We have a unique problem of having way too many people that we're trying to take care of. And we can't do that really effectively, even with people doing dailies and with, bringing money into the guild and stuff like that. So we're always kind of like scraping by it. Just we're trying to find the homeostasis point, I guess, where we can offer enough gold for repairs to raiders without the bank suffering, which can happen from time to time. I mean, we've tried changing it, even just like little amounts. And then all of a sudden you see like the bank just totally dive down, and you're not able to do anything about it except for just say, oh man, we made a mistake. We gotta peel repairs back for raiders, which is never very fun. We don't want to do that. We want to make sure that everybody's getting their gold for the day. But it's for us, it's a really tough balance. So I don't know if you're a part of our guild on the Alliance side, but that's the reason that we do things the way that we do it, is because we're really trying to make sure that we take care of our raiders and our raid teams, because we have so damn many of them. That's the real reason. So I don't know. Coltrane, you have anything on this one at all?
No, man. Everything you guys said, I think you guys covered it.
All right. Let's do one more. Let's do one more, and then we'll get out of here. We have from our Facebook page, we have from Richard Kearney. Do you think boosted characters are going to get a stigma around them like the Sparkle Pony? How will raid teams treat them? I've already been hearing some people say they aren't taking boosters because they have no history. Oh, so because the characters won't have any history with them, people are not going to boost them because they don't want to come off as a total noob once they hit 90, right? So that's the thing. So Coltrane, do you think that 90 characters are going to get a stigma around them at all? As far as
I'm curious. It says I've already been hearing some people say they aren't taking boosters because they have no history. Now I'm assuming this means they're not going to. I think what he's saying is that they're not going to take them onto their raid team.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I think that's what it means. Like basically,
right.
like if you've got a level 90 and then you got a boosted 90, they're not going to take the booster.
Sure.
Because it's a brand new class to them and they don't know what they're doing.
Right.
Come on, guys. You know, when I read that, I'm like, are people really already like, no, you don't have any history. We're not going to take you. And I guess I can kind of see their point of, well, you're clearly just learning your class, but like, come on, man. Like, just why is there, I don't know. There's so many like gateways that players have created in World of Warcraft. And I just don't understand it. I don't know why there's all these gateways of, well, there's an eye level requirement. You need 540 plus for flex.
Well, you kind of understand it, right? I mean, it's because, and you even said it when we were talking about needing an item level of 540 in flex. It's because people just they don't want problems. That's the biggest thing. People don't want problems.
They want it to be easy.
They want it
peasy.
to be right. They want you to know your class. They want you to have gear so that you don't actually need anything in that raid, so that it's going to go as smooth as possible. They want all of this stuff, and it may not be realistic, but they want it. So it's tough. Coming from from my standpoint, I think it sucks. I mean, I think it's terrible. This is not something that you want to promote. You don't want to promote somebody not taking somebody because they have no history. No, you want to say, you know what? We're a community. We're a team. Let's get along together. Let's see how you play before we judge you too harshly.
Exactly. Thank you. Let him in. Let's play. You know, just because it's a fresh 90, maybe this particular player has done tons of research, knows their priority, knows the rotation, knows their stuff, man. You know what I mean? And they'll be good to go. I don't like this. I don't like where this is going. I don't like, come on, guys. It's a game. Let's all just play and, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I'm an optimist. I don't know.
Is he an optimist, Aries?
We need a sounder for this because it happens so rarely, but I think I agree with Coltrane on this one.
What? Oh, my word. Oh, look at that.
This is applause.
Yeah.
This is awful. This is a cancerous kind of behavior. We don't need this.
Yeah.
This has been happening as long as there's been gear in video games. WoW is no different, if not worse. As long as there was gear score, as long as there was eye level, whatever it is. You know nothing about this person because they have a fresh 90. You don't know their previous experience. You don't know their skill level. You don't know that this isn't their 5th druid that they've, boosted to 90 because they didn't want to level 1 on your server. You know nothing about them. And to say that because they have no history, they're immediately terrible is an awful thing to assume. This kind of mentality needs to stop right now. This is bad.
I would agree. It is kind of funny, though, that you mentioned gear score because they took out gear score and replaced it with eye level. And now everybody's like, eye level 540. That's what you need to get into flex now.
Right.
So
this assumption that gear makes you a better player is so incorrect. Having seen it from all levels, from the lowest casual player all the way up to heroic players, eye level and gear in no way dictates the level of player that you are.
That's right.
That's
Bravo!
very true.
Yes,
that is very
thank
true.
You.
That's very true.
Can we just put that on loop, please? Just loop that.
Sure, I'll just loop it. I'll edit the show and we'll just put that on loop for 5 hours.
All right, insert loop here. All right, thank you again for saying that again, Darius.
Right. No, that
absolutely right.
No, that is absolutely true. And Darius, you've been a world-class raider. You've been on world-class raid teams, and you guys are doing stuff under geared all the time and doing it well because it's a bunch of really awesome players, right? So
and I've seen people in those guilds that are serious carries that they underperform everyone by 20-30%, but they're in there because they know someone, or they're dating someone in there, or whatever. They've been in there forever, but they're not good at this class they're playing. And then I've seen people in LFR groups in LFR gear, and LFR is all they have time to do, and they are better players than some of the people that I have seen in World First guilds.
Right.
There's the level of gear that you're wearing just in no way dictates how good of a player you are, or even just in general how good of a person you are.
Now we're gonna go there.
Because there's this, just assumption that you have bad gear, so you're a bad person, or you're dumb, or you're bad at this game, or whatever, or I don't want to hang out with you, or it's so bad. And guys, this needs to stop.
It really does. And it's like we are called Convert to Raid because we love to play endgame content with our friends, with anybody. I mean, it doesn't even really matter. We'll just get a group together sometime and just go. This is what we do. We love playing with other people. So, it's frustrating when somebody says that they refuse somebody just based on one little thing that may not even be a thing.
I got to tell you, Darius, you brought a tear to my eye. I'm a little emotional over here.
Is that just because he agreed with you?
Yeah.
Well, yes. For one thing, that's grounds for celebration.
That is a
It's
big
the
thing.
beard talking.
No, but what you said was beautiful, man. That was beautiful. That was just fantastic. It was just gorgeous. That's exactly right. It was beautiful. It's beautiful what you
Wow,
just
we
said.
have everybody's agreeing at the end of the show.
Everyone's happy.
I thought
and
we
in
agreed
love.
before the show started that we were going to disagree on everything.
Yeah,
That's
even
right.
even yes/no answers. We were going to totally disagree on everything. And look at this. We totally did not do that.
Oh, the love.
Right.
Oh,
Oh,
you feel it? Can you feel? I can feel it.
that's
I'll tell you
that's a
that.
good place to end on, I think. So why don't we
That's
just
nice.
why don't we do
I
that?
need somebody say something to make me angry. Come on.
Fortune cookies.
There you go. That did it. That did it. Oh, man. All right, let's give a little shout out to those that have given us some 5-star reviews this week. Darius, why don't you handle iTunes?
We
Please.
we have a fuffle.
A fuffle?
I can't even talk anymore because there's all this love going around. We've got a couple 5-star reviews on iTunes. We've got Riz Rocks. We've got Lucian. We've got Dix Avador, and we've got Tyke's best friend.
All right, and Coltrane, you wanna hit up the people that gave us 5 stars on Stitcher?
Sure. We got Hinano, Loser here, Ladicius, and Soba Nakakona.
Larry, let's call him Larry.
Soba Nakakona.
And as always, thanks for all of the comments and the thumbs ups on YouTube, and sharing with your peeps the video show, as always. And we cannot do this show without you guys. Oh, any shout outs this week?
I got a big shout out actually to Doghouse Systems. Keith in particular. Now, this show and myself, I'm no way sponsored or affiliated with Doghouse, but my system went down. I've had this baby for years, and the coolant system went down. I don't know a thing about computers. Called him up. He walked me through not only how to fix it, told me where to go to get the new part, and then he was willing to walk through it with me over the phone to set it all up and get it all working.
Well, that's cool.
It's amazing.
Wow.
So, I'm just telling you, man, I'm a huge fan of Doghouse. They do great systems, but really, their customer service is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Usually, when you call, the guy you talk to is the guy that built your machine. So
That's
he
cool.
knows the ins and outs of it like crazy. So big shout out to Keith from Doghouse Systems. Really, really helped me out and got me out of a jam. So a big props to Doghouse. I got a desktop and a laptop from them. So thank you very much, guys. Great job.
Right on. Any other shout outs this week?
I want to give a shout out to Skolnick over at Warcraft Less Traveled, that podcast. I started listening to it this week, and I've been listening to the old episodes, and that's a cool podcast. It's just a couple minutes long, but he points out cool little things around Azeroth to check out. Just little areas or little shrines or items, things like that that you might not ever come across. So
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
yeah, I'm
and
really
it's,
digging it.
and it's like a short program, so it's like a mini podcast, and you can just Yeah, listen about all these really cool places and then go to them in game. It's pretty neat.
It's like 5 or 10 minutes. He tells you exactly where to, if it's an item, where to get it, how to get it. If it's a place, he tells you the TomTom coordinates and everything.
Right.
It's pretty good.
And it usually comes along with a cool story too. I mean, it's not just, hey, here's a place, go here. It's like cool story and everything like that. I know that well,
he does the research on it too.
Right.
He'll tell you why this place
Exactly.
is important.
Exactly. All right.
I will check that out. That's great.
Right. We cannot do this show without you guys. Thank you guys, listeners and viewers everywhere, for checking us out, giving us 5 stars on iTunes and on Stitcher, for the feedback and the questions. Feel free to join in on all the conversations we're having at any time, and you can do that real easy. But first of all, I need to bail on the music.
You're just gonna bail out, bail out of that there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna bail right on out of that. I'm gonna play. Let's see. This one.
Some jazz.
Some jazz, baby. Jazz. All right. You can always email us at convertraid@gmail.com. You can call and leave comments and questions on our raid line, 612-787-RAID. That's 612-787-7243. You can follow us on Twitter at ConvertToRaid or individually, isn't that right, Coltrane?
That's right. You can follow Pat Crane at Pat Crane. You can follow Coltrane, that's me, at _Coltrane, that's with a K. And you can follow Darius at Bored Mind.
That is correct. And you can join the Bazooba Guabo Nation by heading over to converttoraid.com, where we have show downloads. We have our videos over there. They're also on GameBreaker.tv, where we have our live stream. And if you're not checking out the video, you're not seeing Coltrane's beard.
Yeah!
Which is getting stronger every day.
It's growing in power. Right. Exactly.
But we also have our forums. We have tons of links for Raiders and so much more. And that's all over at converttoraid.com. Our show is available on Stitcher, the BlackBerry Podcast Directory, iTunes, all sorts of different places. And that is going to be it for the show. Thank you guys once again for joining us for the live stream, on the video, on the audio, all that kind of good stuff. And we will see you on our next show. Next week at our regular time. It'll be Sunday, one day before my birthday.
Ooh.
11 a.m. Central. And for all the guys that Convert to Raid, bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.